Hi guys, today I'm going to do a little quick, really brief tutorial on crow pose because it comes up again and again and again, and just recently somebody on the Yoga with Adrian yogis Facebook group asked a question about this. It's come up before, so I thought I'd do a quick tutorial. I'm sorry, I'm fresh from a bike ride, so a bit sweaty and plastered. So for crow pose, bakasana, and kakasana, the crane pose, and I probably pronounced them wrong and I might have muddled the Sanskrit, it doesn't matter, but there are two different hand holds. So for crow, I like to bring my fingers together to make a sort of diamond shape and then place them on the floor. And I place them on the floor just inside shoulder width apart. And then when I've done that, I probably need to move a little bit. Hold on. I've set my camera up differently than normal. So once I've done that, I crouch and then my elbows outwards, knees inwards, look forward, very important. And I'm trying to get my hands directly underneath my body, one toe at a time up, and then two if you can. Okay, so the hands need to be under the center of your weight. The mistake most people make is that they don't bring themselves forward over their hands enough. So lots of people try to do crow here. They get their elbows really well set up, but they're not far enough forward, so they can never get their feet off the floor and they wonder why. So you need to bring your weight forward, just as you do in chaturanga, which is why it's good practice for this, and then one foot and then the other. When you're adept at crow, you don't need to do the looking forward, but when you're learning, it's really important to do that. So how can you modify crow to make it a little bit more accessible? So if you're worried about falling forward, it's useful to have a bolster or a cushion, something like that in front of you. And that sometimes will give you the confidence to come into your crow, knowing that if you fall, you've got something to head plant onto, okay? But, so you can use this regardless, and you can easily take it away. It's not going to affect your ability to then progress to using, to doing crow prop free, which is what we hope to be able to achieve at some point in the future. The other thing that you can do is, if you feel like your hips aren't able to lift, is you can get yourself up on a block. In fact, I'm going to use this cork block. So you place your feet on the block, your hands on the floor as you normally do, elbows out, knees in, and then you're just that little bit higher up. You don't have to tip forward quite so much. And it's always one foot up, then the other if you can. With all balance poses, there is a balance point. So there's a point where the body becomes light and you're not fighting to be in the pose, you're just in it. Hence yoga. But the things that you can help your body with in crow is pressing the elbows out and the knees in at the same time. So this actual shape that you make with the arm and the leg, you hold that. There's really active muscle going on here, muscle firing rather. So this is really useful to do for crow. And then crane is different. Crane, we set up the hands and the feet like a little square. So the hands are about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly inside, if that suits you. Your feet are directly behind. You turn your inner elbows forward and bend your elbows backwards. The knees rest towards the top of the arms. Same principle of looking forward and then just taking one foot off the floor and then the other. And you just, it's all about getting your weight forward enough to be able to come into the posture. The two are used for different things. So crow is the beginning of a tripod headstand variation called bird in a nest. And crane is the beginning of the posture that you shoot your legs back into chaturanga in some of the ashtanga variations or the vinyasa yoga variations. So you use both of them, and some people prefer one to the other. Personally, I like crow better, but that's just my thing. And once you feel really adept in your pose, the next thing that you can do, so if you're already able to do crow quite well and you want to progress, you can start playing with the position of your hands, which is quite a nice thing to do. And you should always try a few different variations to find what suits you best anyway. And the other thing that you can do is, in your crow pose, you can begin to move your weight around to be able to develop strength in your forearms, in your hands. It will help you with handstands, helps a little bit with headstands, any of the arm balances, including the peacock poses. And it will help you when you come into side crows, but side crow is a video for another day. This was just a really quick taster. Once you've done crow, please always roll out your wrists. So this is a really nice wrist release I like to use, where you press the backs of the hands towards each other gently, and then just try to keep the hands connected as you roll through your wrists. You can go in both directions. And the other thing you can do is press the heels of the hands together and then snap them apart. Press the heels of the hands together, snap them apart. You make little farty noises with the palms sometimes, a little bit like we used to do as young children perhaps, and then shake out your wrists. You can help to build up the strength in your fingers, your digits, your hands and your forearms by doing some finger exercises. And the other thing is to cupcake your hands whenever you have an opportunity. So if you are doing something like cobra pose, you can cupcake your hands. You can create this space underneath the palm of the hand where you're pressing into your fingertips. And that will help to strengthen across your fingers, your hands, your forearms, and into your shoulders as well. And so that will help your crow as well. So I hope that this was useful. Always take care when you're practicing. So if you think that you're going to fall forward, something underneath your face is quite useful. We've all face planted at some point, but if we can save somebody else from doing that, then that's good. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'd be happy to do another video, tutorial video on any posture that you would like. Okay. Namaste, guys.